This is out of Matthew 21, is the first one. Verse 12. Jesus entered the temple courts. He drove out all those who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. And he said, as written, he said to them, my house be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers. Now let me stop for a second. Okay, so for those who have been raised in church, a lot of you weren't raised in church, but those raised in church, sometimes people get really weird over stuff. And I remember it's like, well, you can't sell something in the church because the Bible says you can't do that. That's not what that says. Okay? The Bible doesn't say you can't sell a t-shirt or a coffee cup or a cookie. That's not what it says. That's not how we operate. But I'm just saying that's not what that says. Okay? So don't be getting all weird and thinking, well, what that means is therefore you can't sell something in the church. That is not a biblical concept at all. In this culture, what was taking place was, think that there were pilgrims, people who were traveling to come there, right, from different countries, had different kinds of cash, okay? They didn't have all the same currency. And so they'd come from different places, and they were buying the things that were approved by the church, by the temple, by the chief priests and stuff. They were buying the things that were required of them to make a sacrifice, okay? For them to do the ceremonial sacrifice process, they were buying things that were there. So there was money changers and things like. What that meant was, if you came in with money that was from your country, okay, this currency works where you are, but it doesn't work here. They had people who would, just like if we go to Europe, we have to take money and we exchange those kind of things, right? Those are the kind of things. So don't think about everything they were doing was evil. That's not even the point. That's missing the point. The point of the passage is not what they were doing, it's what they weren't doing. It's not what they were doing, it's what they weren't doing. That's the point. It wasn't that they were selling items so that people would have an item to have a sacrificial, to make their sacrifice. That was not the point. That was not what he's talking about at all. It wasn't that they were exchanging money from one country's currency to another country's currency. That wasn't the point of all. The point was they had turned it into something that the temple had never meant to be. It became about the money, it became about the market of the day, and it stopped being about what God intended for it to be.